Welcome to the soul. Yeah, we're starting this live stream today. Okay, anyways, let's continue on with the show. Yeah. Jesus, I was thinking. What?
Wow! Oh, I wonder how Livonia's blade work could be applied to these weapons, and what kind of modifications would be needed.
Check the bathroom. Yes.
Yes. Hey! You huh? Who do you call little boy? I'm not up to any. Huh. You can't. You must be planning to sneak over and steal a couple of. Yes, that's right. In any case, my weapon of choice is the greatsword. And I don't see any of those here. Greatsword, huh? Well, you got one thing right. The man refuses to show anyone his greatsword in the store, no matter how many times you beg him. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. That's not true. No, the cat is out of you're really gonna let me? Wow, that glow, it's not fair. But be patient, you'll get there. Besides, I'm sure your dream will come true when, It's clear to me now. You bear a geovision. You wield a greatsword. You're a nice person. You must be a fabled knight of the... Huh? As surely as the hill... Wait, Oh, he's gone. Children in Liyue have these dreams too. I never would have thought. When I was little, the other Mondstadt kids and I always used to imagine... Anyway... Yes!
While the Millilith stands guard, evil Yes. Word is that a Knight of Favonius has appeared in Liyue. Must be the rumored Knight of...
Oh, sorry. I am not yet a knight.
I see. Allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Shayin, a Millilith responsible for garrison and patrol duties.
I am Golden Fox here.
And I am Noelle, maid of the Knights of Favonius. Of course, I am not yet an official knight.
Understood. Allow me to apologize on behalf of all the residents of this area for the misunderstanding earlier.
Oh, it's no big deal. More importantly, is there a reason why you were looking for a Knight of Favonius? May I be of any assistance?
Well, let me fill you in. I just received some intel that a group of treasure hoarders, originally from Mondstadt, has shown up in this area recently. According to the intel, they've set up camp near Stonegate. If we act too rashly and let them escape back to Mondstadt, then it'll be difficult for the Millilith to continue pursuing them. That's why I was hoping the Knight of Favonius could join me in the arrest, so we could act as each other's witnesses. But it seems like this is easier said than done.
I'm sorry. Oh, if only I could have passed this selection exam earlier.
If I submitted an official request for assistance to the Knights of Favonius, all I would achieve is to buy the treasure hoarders time to plan their escape. Might I ask if there are any other Knights of Favonius in Liyue Harbor at present?
Any other knights in Liyue? it's a knight you need, well, there's one right here.
An honored guest of the Chi-Sing and an honorary knight too? Well, if someone who's independently a hero in 2 different nations is willing to lend me a hand, I can't exactly do better than that.
It's great to talk.
It's just that I feel a little ashamed calling on a hero who defeats ancient gods to assist with something so trivial.
Wait, so, as well as Storm Terror, you defeated an ancient...
Then I am truly honored. Please excuse me while I catch up with my comrades stationed at Stonegate. I will confirm the details of the arrest with them. Whenever the 2 of you are ready, please come and find me there. Let's rendezvous shortly. While the Millelith stands guard, evil shall never prevail.
Abracadabra, I have magic. That's transmission. I do not need to dub for once. Sometimes I actually have to dub over this game. Depending on the dialogue, I have to dub over again. Everyone knows about the British melody. Well, the weird accent. Nothing. It's perfect.
While the Millelith stands guard, evil shall never... In case any of them slip... As I said earlier...
Though I am not a knight of the...
Oh,
that's the case,
Then I will meet up with my...
Time to kill another fucking god, bitches.
Would you mind letting me handle this mission? Yes. If it hadn't been for you, I would not have been able to participate. As expected, compared to the honorary knight, I still have a lot. I still want to do everything within my ability. As you wish. Oh, they're coming already. Oh, facing them alone. Do I have what it takes?
Have a taste of this! Direct assault!
As a dutiful maid would. I did it! I actually did it! No! It's all because of your encouragement.
Thank you! We've successfully detained all the treasure hoarders who tried to escape. We've double-checked the numbers against the intel we were given, and it looks like none of them escaped. Oh.
You're to be of help to you, sir?
You are too humble. I hear from the merchants that the Knights of Favonius of Mondstadt are both highly skilled and only too willing to rescue people in the direst of situations. With the skills and integrity you've shown, it's no wonder that the residents of Chuhu Rock mistook you for a real knight.
Sadly, they are quite mistaken. I am still far from becoming a real knight.
Then I sincerely look forward to seeing you in action in the future, after you do become a real knight. It's getting late. I should escort these treasure hoarders back. While the Millelith stands guard, evil shall never prevail. Hope to meet you both again.
Goodbye, Mr. Shaheen. Oh, a real knight. How much longer until I become worthy of this title?
Turn! Oh, hell
Is it really time to go back already? Apologies. I know this is a lot to ask, but could you spend a little longer with me? I still have somewhere that I'd like to visit. This is the place.
That is the sound of a really loose rock. See that rock? It's completely detached. I had to pull on it with all of my weight. And the weird part is, some people think that's totally okay. I just climbed this sick room, and even though I'd gotten past the room, the hardest move was just in front of me. I had to throw for this block. That's right, a really loose rock. I didn't know it was loose at the time. I made the move and got to the top, and couldn't believe how that was okay on such a popular route. But when I got back to the base, I talked with some other climbers, and they weren't phased. Oh, that loose rock? It's been like that for years. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, I kind of wish I knew that before I started on this thing. Why? That is the sound of a really loose...
That's right. I often make tea for the Knights of Favonius, so I wanted to come here and see what I can learn. Would you care to join me for some tea? Both the taste and... When I read about the Knights of Favonius and the Millelith in books, their rules and philosophy seem so different, but it seems the desire to protect one's own people is the same everywhere. Yes! I know I still have, but still, the day that I can...
All throughout the night, I woke up to this. The liquid meters were either almost completely empty or only halfway full. This meant that the colony definitely had been transferring goods back to the nest. And upon taking a closer look, I realized I was definitely right. The ants filled up all the colony's roommates so much that they looked at the door above the pot. Speaking of which, I swear some of the ants had drops of nectar leaking from the sides of their bodies. That aside, the queen looked a little bit green as well. And now that I think about it, I probably should have also given them a rose because now the whole colony looks entirely... Sorry.
Traveling to some points can be difficult, but it's often necessary to rescue lost children.
My baby cousin got lost in the void. Can you save her for me?
Absolutely.
Okay, now I have to figure out how the fuck to get this done. Which will be next stream because I am way too lazy to do it now. Let's go start another one of the mini quests.
Just another day to move my cargo. What's this? Need my shop. And what's wrong with my car? Jim and Edna were both patients in a mental
Okay, there.
One day, while they were walking to the hospital swimming pool, Jim suddenly jumped into the deep end. He sank to the bottom of the pool and stayed there. Edna promptly jumped in to save him. She swam to the bottom and told Jim.
There we
The
go.
director of nursing was aware of Edna's heroic act. She immediately ordered
Right on time. We'll know any moment now.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends for a long time?
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers against others.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of responsibility.
Honestly, I haven't been able to make
Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from one day to the next.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early too.
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
Right.
Come on in, everyone. Come on, let's go inside.
Candace, where? Whoa, you look furious.
Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Your face.
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth. Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes, ma'am. Please, don't beat us anymore.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal. Tell me, what would you do to you in my position?
Mercy! Please have mercy!
You've made your bed. We may all be desert dwellers, but there's one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of King Deshret will only result in war. And war serves no one. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can afford to shoulder.
We understand. We're sorry.
Jesus Christ, these fuckers are idiots.
I'll tell you everything I know, please. Just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about King Deshret's resurrection. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in King Deshret's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread the word about King Deshret's resurrection and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help facilitate the resurrection process. I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
too.
He got us to Lord. You gotta believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself King Deshret's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu? What do you mean?
Somebody's got to take a punch to the face.
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of could be from the Academia. Some time ago, people from the Academia attempted to take the village keepers away. I refused, insisting that they are part. It strikes me now that this secretive character shares the same goal they had.
Which means it's highly likely that the Academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village keepers right into their hands. They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take them back? We aren't gonna let that happen.
Not the Academia again.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keepers?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the Academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars. Regardless, our top priority now is locating the village keepers.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone...
I'm always ready.
You look worried. Thinking about the village?
Yes. I'd look for them myself if I could. As members of our village, each one of them is very
You have a strong sense of belonging.
Dia, don't say that.
Thanks. I'll let you know when I feel... You look worried.
Yes.
You have a...
Dia.
Where the hell is...
What scheme is the Academia brewing now?
Come behind her?
Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus.
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway?
Mewing.
Hey! What's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname!
Oh, I wanna...
Never mind! Paimon's got nothing. There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. Makes it so hard.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yes?
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well take the search elsewhere.
I'll save him.
Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
All Hatham. You haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had
Huh? Right here in the...
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They were glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru Village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
Because...
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
It was early today, and stop interrupting my live stream.
Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Alhaitham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night. Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Yeah, let's go!
I'll do this later. Hello? Who is there?
Oh, is this the place? Oh, it's in terrible shape. Monsters, watch out!
Let the mighty be humbled.
Show them. Emerge. Right now.
Settle down. Be sanctified.
Come on now. A sight to behold. Leave it up to me. Time to clean up.
Bow your head. Let the mighty be humbled.
Show them. Right here.
Silence.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected. Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, you know. He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one.
Yep.
Let's go in and take a look. Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then, I'm taking a break.
And just like that, what are you reading? Let Paimon.
Properly academia.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an...
So...
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey, Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knows plenty of useful stuff already. And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated. Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's...
Something is off about the interior here.
Yeah, it's obviously. Why is this all fucking...
As I thought.
Wow. It's like they... Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here.
I cannot help but feel that you bringing me here is some sort of an assassination attempt.
Scanning for enemies.
Settle down!
Come on out. Right now. Right here.
Propagate! The tides beckon. Bow your head.
Show them. Right now.
Spring forth! Silence!
I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
Scatter!
Look! There's... Good idea! Let's...
Wait. You're...
He can't speak. Also,
Didn't expect to see him here.
you know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too... Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a...
Loaded.
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a... The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port... Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh!
Correct. The Academia, it isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, these rumors were all the persuasion that the Radicals needed, and those based in Aru Village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the Academia. As well as being able to exploit the Radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the Academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their... Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru Village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
Anyways. Also, Black is such a bad
An exile is still
color.
patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly...
Resource? For...
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be
extracted? You mean... canned knowledge comes from...
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope.
I'm the Academia's... Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong, or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
Assume that this knowledge has something to do with the Faturi, the Doctor, and the Belazier. They're using divine knowledge capsules to turn the Belazier into a
The
god.
look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to.
I just need to check something. We got no
However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But what? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the Divine Knowledge Capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its door.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected.
Wait! Didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Tibet as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
This is the chapter of betrayals, if I remember correctly.
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The Divine Knowledge Capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Betrayal and Glock's fuckery.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Yeah.
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with. We'll work out our next step after we return.
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while yet. They fled once we were headed to the village.
Yeah, what is that?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movement.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is... Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Al-Haytham.
I think Al-Haytham is alone. Because also leaking information. Because homie still has his academia terminal.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against, simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing the thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment.
You're saying that the Academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
Strange, isn't it?
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the Academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
Yeah, he's not a betrayer. He's just fucking really predictable.
They escaped because of me.
Oh, he's gonna take it to heart, isn't he?
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
His whole job is assassinating people who break the Academia's laws or what the fuck they're talking about. Like,
there is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
They need to be saved. from me.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now. If the Academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the
Oh, by the
safest
way,
place
I'm
would
back, bitches. Oh. You're supposed to stay calm for the whole stream, Foxy. Fair enough point. Your suicidal tendencies are back, Foxy. I know.
Yep, that's right!
And Maniac.
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
I'll hate them. Maybe remove your Casa terminal.
Please, wait! I wanna go
No! Child, you're too young!
You want to go too? If so...
I wanna find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave them in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Paimon feels like...
See you guys on the flip side.